Imagine a place at the edge of the world, where the horizon is an unbroken line of ice and sky. This is the Arctic, a vast, frozen desert. Buried deep beneath kilometers of solid ice lies Facility Borealis, a name whispered only in the most classified circles. From the air, it's invisible, a ghost under a white shroud. But this is no research station. It's a prison, the most secure and secret on Earth, designed to hold those the world wants to forget. Its walls aren't just concrete and steel. They're the crushing, eternal pressure of the polar ice cap. For the men inside, both guards and prisoners, this is the end of the line, a place where the sun disappears for months, and the only sound is the groaning of ancient ice. They thought the greatest danger was the cold, or the man in the cell next door. They were wrong. The real monster was the prison itself, waiting patiently deep in the frozen dark, and it was about to wake up. The first warning wasn't a shout or a gunshot, but a low, guttural tremor that vibrated through the steel decks. Red lights flashed, painting the sterile corridors in a bloody wash. Seismic alarms scream a language of pure panic. On the surface, the permafrost, weakened by an unseasonable thaw, has fractured. Ancient, forgotten tunnels, carved by meltwater millennia ago, are now exposed. Down in the control room, screens flicker and die. The facility's power grid, its very lifeblood, is failing. And then, as if summoned by the chaos, the storm hits. A whiteout, a vertical blizzard of impossible ferocity, descends upon Borealis. In minutes, visibility drops to zero. All communication with the outside world is severed. The satellite link is dead. The facility is now an island, completely isolated in a sea of roaring wind and ice. The guards on the surface towers vanish into the maelstrom. The prison is cut off, a tomb sealed not just by ice, but by the raw, untamable fury of the Arctic itself. The lines between inside and outside have just been erased. Initiate full lockdown. Seal every sector. No one moves. No one breathes without my order. The voice of Colonel Ward, the facility's iron-fisted warden, cuts through the rising panic. He's a man forged by protocol and discipline, but even he can't stop the inevitable. The emergency bulkheads grind shut, but it's too late. The power failures were sporadic, unpredictable. In the chaos, cell doors have unlocked. Guards, making their rounds, find themselves trapped in cell blocks with the very men they were assigned to watch. The carefully maintained order of Borealis evaporates in an instant. Corridors become kill zones. What was once a controlled environment is now a complex, three-dimensional battlefield. The prisoners, far from a disorganized mob, begin to move with chilling efficiency. Among them are former Special Forces soldiers, strategists, and brutal tacticians. They know the language of combat. They organize, form fire teams, and start claiming territory using the prison's own choke points and blind spots against the guards. The hunters have become the hunted. Every shadow could hide an enemy, and the sound of footsteps in the distant corridor is now a death sentence. Trapped in his command center, Ward fights to regain control, but every move is countered. The prisoners aren't just reacting, they're anticipating. They know the layout too well, almost as if they have the blueprints, desperate for an advantage. Ward breaks protocol and accesses the facility's deepest, most classified archives of files that explain why Borealis was really built. The truth is colder than the ice outside. This isn't just a prison, it's a contingency weapon, a Siberian gambit. The high-value prisoners aren't just here to be locked away, they're assets, sleeper agents, a deniable army to be unleashed in a future global conflict. The revelation hits him like a physical blow. Suddenly, it all makes sense. The prisoners' military precision, their knowledge of the facility. Some of them were never meant to stay locked up. And as this horrifying truth sinks in, Ward looks at the faces of his own guards on the security monitors. Who can he trust? The prison's purpose was a lie. The mission was a lie. The terrifying question hangs in the air. How many of his own men are part of the gambit? How many guards are embedded assets, waiting for the signal to turn on their comrades? In an instant, trust collapses completely. Every man is now alone. The final battle isn't fought in the open halls, but in the newly exposed tunnel network beneath the prison. The ice groans, and the structure of Borealis begins to fail. It's a descent into hell. The tunnels are a labyrinth of cracking ice and rushing meltwater, where the air is thin and the only light comes from the emergency strobes of dying flashlights. The storm's howl is a constant, deafening roar that travels through the rock and ice. Visibility is non-existent. It's combat by sound and instinct. Metal shrieks against metal, a desperate, brutal ballet of hand-to-hand combat. Men fight not with guns, but with improvised weapons, with fists, with anything they can grab in the suffocating darkness. Friend and foe are indistinguishable. The only goal is to survive the next 10 seconds. It's no longer about guards versus prisoners. It's about survivor versus survivor in a collapsing, frozen tomb, as the very earth tries to swallow them whole. This is the primal, final struggle at the bottom of the world. As the last echoes of the fight fade into the groaning ice, a handful of men, battered and broken, crawl from the tunnels. Above them, the reactor in the heart of Borealis is critical, its fail-safes overridden. Colonel Ward stands before the detonation console, his hand hovering over the switch. He has one last, impossible choice. He can trigger the reactor, entombing everyone and everything, the assets, the secrets, the truth under a mountain of radioactive ice forever. Or he can allow the extraction. A black, unmarked helicopter is fighting its way through the breaking storm, coming to collect its assets, its living weapons. To let them go is to unleash a danger onto a world that has no idea what is coming. To detonate is to condemn the few remaining survivors, the men who fought at his side. As the first rays of the Arctic dawn cut through the dissipating storm, the survivors emerge onto the surface. They blink in the sudden light, their faces etched with the horrors they've endured. They went into the dark as guards or prisoners, but they've emerged as something else entirely. Their identities, their allegiances, their very souls have been rewritten by the ice and the darkness. And as the chopper descends, Ward makes his choice, sealing not just his own fate, but perhaps the fate of the world. Thank you for watching. If you were captivated by this story from the edge of the world, make sure to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell for more deep dives into thrilling narratives. Let us know in the comments what you think Ward's final choice should have been. Until next time, stay curious.